What can be considered inspiring? A colorful painting? A euphonious song or lyric? Maybe a hilarious skit or an uplifting video? Perhaps it could even be something mundane like a cracked window or a blank piece of paper. Regardless of your answer, you're correct. As the old saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So while I, a college student interested in writing and media production, may tell you that Hunter x Hunter is one of the most inspiring shows I've ever seen, you may tell me that anime is trash and I should get a life. Anyone and anything can be an inspiration whether or not you personally connect to it, but it's that connection that spurs people to test their limitations, improve their capabilities, and expand their perspective. This series is itself a concept that wouldn't exist if my universe mode didn't exist. In fact, this entire channel wouldn't exist if not for other YouTube channels. And that brings us to the topic of this video. Today on Behind the Universe, I'm here to answer the question, what inspires me? As well as, who has inspired me to change my style of editing? Before I began this channel in October of 2012, I had already been making YouTube videos inconsistently since the summer of 2011, on 2 separate channels. I used to make highlight videos from WWE games until I made my first commentary on February 10th, 2012 on my Call of Duty channel, Clutch Shot 219. Spoilers! Those videos sucked! On the technical side, the visuals were recorded on a low-quality camera with a video feature, and the audio was recorded through my laptop's built-in mic.
I might also be a terrible Call of Duty player.
The purpose of this channel was mainly to gain some sort of an audience before I actually got my capture card. I even mentioned in my debut commentary that I was making Call of Duty videos because it was what was popular at the time.
I plan to post from, well, right now what is one of the most popular YouTube commentary themes at the moment, which is Call of Duty.
Really?
Granted, because of who I hung out with at the time, I had seen a lot of Call of Duty YouTubers who inspired me to make videos. So I assumed that if I didn't do Call of Duty videos, I wasn't going to get anywhere. As for the WWE channel, it was alright. By the end of it, I had been working on a long-term highlight reel series that, at the time, I was pretty proud of. What made me decide to go with WWE, though, was the influence of the more mainstream WWE YouTubers like Tubby Emu, Tony Pizza Guy, and Smack Talks, as well as the WWE Games League I had been a part of for a year prior. In fact, that league became its own brand within my WWE 13 universe mode until I finally ended it in June of 2014. I'll elaborate more on that in a future Behind the Universe video. With all of that context out of the way, we can finally delve into the mindset behind this channel. When I first began my universe mode, I had very little direction. The series was an amalgamation of too many ideas, too many storylines, and not enough thought behind them. It was an absolute mess. I was hindered by technical issues and copyright issues. I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. Even though I started the series in November of 2012, I had only produced 7 episodes by the end of January 2013. It's amazing that I didn't get frustrated and quit YouTube altogether. By February, fortunately, things started falling into place and I was able to upload consistently for once. In January of 2013, I found the man who went on to become both my friend and rival, Brendan Plays. And it's needless to say that he had the largest influence on my channel in its early stages. He inspired me to create promotional videos for my pay-per-views. I tried to grow as a commentator by mimicking a similar style to his. At the time, there weren't any universe modes that I knew of which carried over from game to game, so I probably thought I would start fresh in 2K14 if I was even still making videos. Brendan, however, wanted his series to carry into the next game, and I had been tossing the same idea around in my head as well. For seemingly the first time, my series actually had some direction. If I was going to continue the series, however, I needed to rein things in a bit. That's why I stopped making Attitude Era shows and concluded the UCW vs WWE angle. I knew that if I wanted to make a successful universe mode, I had to focus on a single idea, and I decided to go with WWE. As for UCW, I continued the brand in WWE 13 before finally ending it in June of 2014. Meanwhile, WWE 2K14 is what really started to draw attention to my channel. There was also that one late platinum video, but
We don't talk about that video.
I went from 400 subscribers in October of 2013 to 2,000 by October of 2014. As for the series itself, however, there isn't much to discuss. It was definitely a big improvement from WWE 13, don't get me wrong, but I don't look back on the series as anything special. Sure, storylines were better developed, and I planted a lot of seeds for future events later in the series, but WWE 2K14 was just a chance for me to improve as a YouTuber. My editing improved, my commentary improved, and by the end, my promotional videos started to evolve into a completely different style. Honestly though, if you compare my first year's rivalry of the year, John Cena versus The Undertaker, to virtually anything I'm doing now, you'll understand why I don't give the series an abundance of praise. It's not a bad series, but compared to what I do now, I can't picture it as anything other than average. If I would rate WWE 13 Universe Mode a 2 out of 10, then I'd give WWE 2K14 a 5 out of 10. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. It's just average. As I said in the previous Behind the Universe installment, WWE 2K15 was the biggest conceptual shift, try saying that 5 times fast, in my Universe Mode to date. But if I wasn't gonna be a Brendan Plays wannabe, then what would I be? How about a Delzinski wannabe? All joking aside, SNME and the FAM Royal Rumble really motivated me to take a different approach when making my videos. You mean, you can actually edit the matches themselves? Ludicrous! Now I'm not going to sit here and say that my WWE 2K15 Royal Rumble match was anything significant when compared to FAM's Royal Rumble, but in terms of my own videos, the Royal Rumble was easily my most time-consuming project at that point. The removal of Story Designer really limited my potential at the time, but that didn't stop me, and in fact it actually motivated me to experiment with some editing techniques I had never tried before. That was my first experience with masking, and while I'm not at all that great at it, it's still something that I use in my videos today. As well as that, the Daniel Bryan Brock Lesnar promo I made for the event was, until the Team Ambrose Team Rollins promo just recently, my favorite promo I had ever made. While I'm on the topic of promos, this was the year where my promos finally became unique to me. I started using those videos to not only build hype for the pay-per-views, but to also experiment with different visual effects and overlays. Nowadays, my promos incorporate an editing style similar to an AMV rather than a wrestling promo, and this game was when that idea really took off. I like to let the music do the talking rather than dub over it, and while I do occasionally add some dialogue to the video, some of my best promos have had little dialogue to them at all. Heck, my most recent Survivor Series promo had only 10 seconds of dialogue in it, though I just got really lucky with how well the song fit the feud. After the Royal Rumble though, I feel like regular episodes returned to a slowly improving status quo until I finally took full control around the Payback pay-per-view. In between, however, I had the biggest boom in my channel thus far when videos like the Slammy Awards, WrestleMania, the WWE Draft, and Extreme Rules all dropped in the span of a single Universe Mode month. Due to the sheer amount of popular concepts included in that single month, I haven't really had the chance to compete against that since. However, if I was to recommend a starting point for my Universe Mode, I would suggest starting with Payback. While you would miss the introduction of a few key story beats, Payback is the event where I believe the quality of my videos started to improve towards what it is today. By that point, SNME had been running long enough to convince me to step up my game. In fact, it was Delzinski's Money in the Bank match that really won me over. After watching that, I started to experiment more and see how I could expand the game's limitations to make things I otherwise wasn't capable of creating. And that, my lovely viewers, brings me to WWE 2K16. And more importantly, the Championship Scramble match at SummerSlam. Between the Scramble and the 5-on-5 match at Survivor Series, I can't decide which project I like more. Even though Survivor Series took significantly more time to put together, I had to make the Scramble essentially from scratch. I had to time myself as I was recording each clip, while also accounting for any layover time that I would need for the sake of transitions. And while there were one or two awkward spots where I either had to cut footage or stretch footage, the finished product was much better than I worried it would be. Following SummerSlam, I don't think my video quality has decreased at all. While the stakes may rise and fall, the video quality remains consistent. Obviously, not every video will have the same production value as a pay-per-view, but I think my regular shows are starting to stand out on their own merits as well. Not every match is going to be a Match of the Year candidate, but when I get to the Slammy Awards this time around, instead of struggling to find at least 5 matches to nominate for the prize, I think I'm going to struggle narrowing the field to only 5 matches, between the open challenges, the exhibition surprises, and the pay-per-view classics. I've got my work cut out for me, and so will you. Before I conclude the video, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my biggest inspiration for making these videos. And that's you, the viewer. I know it sounds cheesy, but your support and feedback keeps me motivated. I'm going to save the long-winded spiel for now, because this video has given me an idea for another, much more personal video similar to this topic, but I'm not ready to make that video just yet. I have a script started already, as it was initially going to be part of this video, but I quickly realized that it was going to be a much more time-consuming endeavor that wouldn't really fit into any particular series. I wanted this video to focus mainly on what influenced the growth of this channel, along with my universe mode, rather than the philosophy behind why I make videos as a whole. It might even be several months until I go back to that script, but that's a discussion for another time. As for the ending of this video, however, if you ever want to show your support for what I do, leave a comment on the video or message me over on Twitter at MathWiz97X. Hearing what you have to say is much more meaningful to me than clicking a like button, although that's appreciated as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next one, keep on YouTubing.